If you watch my previous video, Is Coding Required in 2026? I talked about 4 different career paths that you can take. And from that, I've already explained no code, low code automation path, which is already up on my YouTube. You can go and watch it if you haven't already. So today in this video, we are going to talk about the second path from that 4 career paths. In that video, I have described this path as AI hybrid path because at that time I was not sure to put one role for this specific role that we are talking about. It doesn't have to stick to one role. The skill set that I'm talking about already has multiple roles and designations in the current market right now. That is the reason I have described it as hybrid path. So this hybrid path actually fits into few real world names. Depending on what you build, how you build it, and how you deliver the product, it depends on that. Some of those real world names are AI product builder, AI solution builder, AI native developer, AI application developer. So it can be any of these roles, okay? And these roles are basically all the same. It only has, few different skill set of things that you need to know. So all these basically display the same core idea, which is basically how application works, how you build them, how you run them, how you monitor them, the front end, back end, middleware, deployments, everything. And you don't need to write 2000 lines of code all by yourself, and you don't need to know all the DSA algorithms and concepts. You don't need heavy machine learning coding or algorithms or frameworks at that point. So here AI does all the heavy lifting for you. So before we go into what actually this path is, let me clarify you on the engineer part of this. I'm pretty sure most of you have already heard about the term AI engineer. So how is an engineer different from a developer? Let me clarify you. Engineer is someone who does the system design. Engineer is someone who builds from the scratch. He is someone who has to look over everything, check everything, and build everything by himself. And most of the times, these people work in teams. Even one person cannot do everything by himself. Of course, the small application, you can do it. But most AI engineers always do big applications. They build LLMs, they build complex agents, they build the tools that we are actually using, the AI tools. They are the ones who have built it. So these people come under that category. Anyone who has a term called engineer definitely need to know programming, mostly advanced or maybe above intermediate level of programming. They need to have knowledge on that. Some may even prefer DSA too. Developer does not mean you need to write complex codes. Developer means you simply know how the software works and you know how you can use it, but that doesn't mean that you can get into this without any coding knowledge. No, at least you have to have some knowledge, and as I said, you have to know how these all applications work and how this entire product can be built, monitored, and executed. So what does an AI product builder or AI native developer actually do? So I have written some points so that I can simply explain it to you. So you have to understand how an app end-to-end works. You can read code and fix small issues, but you don't need to do manually everything. All right. So you build entire product using AI tools, prompts, workflows, and coding tools. You also work with clients and you have to meet the requirements, you have to take the requirements, you work with integrations, you work with automations, you have to test them, you have to debug them. So most of the times you also work like a product manager who has to deal with the clients and also deal with your company if you work in one. So basically you have to have end-to-end plan of what you're actually building, and actually here you don't have a team, and your team is basically the tools that you use, the softwares that you use, which is basically AI over here again. So most companies and big tech companies are going crazy for these kinds of guys because they give you an option to no need to have an entire team to have a specific project. All you have to have is 1 or 2 persons, and if they know all these skill set and they know how to work with this, if they know how to build a product from scratch using these tools, then they don't need to have an entire team, right? Only 1 person or 2 persons are enough for this. And the crazy part here is they can do it in less time than an entire team could do. To build a product, a well-versed entire team takes 3 months or 1 month. These guys take 1 week or 10 days. That's how it has been changed. So if you have liked the video so far, give a like and subscribe for the content like this. And I'm going to give you a full entire roadmap for this, with the skill sets that you need to have, the tools that you need to know, the softwares that you have to practice, and everything in that document, which will be there in the link in the description. So for that, at least you have to give a like and subscribe, right? So moving into the real world scenario, you're saying all these things, but how does this actually work in company scenarios? How does this actually work in project scenarios? So let's just take an example. So let's just say your company gets a client and your manager comes in and says that you have to build this for our client. He requires a full end-to-end SaaS application where he can get the dashboards. He has the login forms, submissions, knowledge base, internal admin planner, tracking, and everything has to be built for the SaaS application. And that is a problem statement. Of course, you need more, but let's just take this for now. So what you have to do first, you have to build the application, you have to provide the logins and check the logins if they're working properly or not. You have to build the UI for it, you have to build the user experience for it, you have to structure everything using the AI tools. So you have to design the full structure using, Node.js structure format if you can, and using APIs you can build every authentication tools, because there are a lot of API tools out there which provides secure authentication for you. And you can integrate your knowledge base using RAG, because that is the most efficient way to get the answers from your knowledge base. And you can put a lot of innate automations to automate emails and provide them admin panel, and integrate all of these and provide internal dashboard, internal admin panel, and check how actually is going on for the client in this SaaS application. And remember, the entire code here is generated by AI. Of course, that doesn't mean that you should leave it like that. You have to check, as I said again, you need to know how this structure works, right? You at least need to have some coding knowledge. At least you have to have 10% of the coding knowledge. When a manual editing is required, you have to do it, but not every time. Most, like 70% of the work will be done by AI, and rest 20% you have to do the integrations, automations, and workflows, and connect the APIs and everything manually. And the 10% sometimes requires manual editing or manual coding. So how long do you think it's going to take? Let me tell you, I have done it myself. It's not that big project, but I have done it in less than 5 days and have actually delivered it. But the only thing I didn't do was the deployment part, to deploy to the cloud and make the product live. That was not done by me. I could have even done it. All I have to do is just to connect it to Azure or AWS or any cloud provider out there. That's all. And send it to the clients. That is one example. We can take a lot of examples. Let's just say someone wants you to build in a freelancing, they want you to build a fitness tracker for their gym. You can do that. Someone wants you to build a food delivery app. Someone wants you to build a food tracking app for them. And not only that, there are a lot of endless use cases that you can use. Let me give you my use case, which is I have built a pharmacy productivity app using this AI tools only. I used Replit, I used N8N, and I used Bolt and Cursor too to make the UI even more better. And I have took all these tools help, and I've automated, I have built, I have integrated a lot of things which is required for the productivity app, like integrating Google Sheets, making sure that it is integrated with the portals. And I'm sorry, I cannot name those portals. So connecting and integrating everything which requires really understanding of what actually you're doing. And when I've built that, it has really saved a lot of time. The productivity of every staff is easily tracked, and the dashboards are easily visible and showing them the matrices, the KPIs, how actually things are going in their internal teams and how the work is going in each teams. Everything can be tracked over there, and I have made that in less than 3 days. The application was built in 3 days, but I have to do the testing, debugging, and everything. It took around 10 days. So that's how you can build using these AI tools. But it's not easy. It never is easy. Everything is hard. But what you should have is the mindset of doing that. So I have told these 4 roles, right? So how these actually differ from each one, I have written it myself. So let's just say you're an AI product builder. You're basically building full-on products, and you are an AI native developer. So what you're doing is focusing on workflows, agents, and mixing other builds with another. So that's what AI native builder does. So solution builder mostly comes for solving the complex problems. Like there are some problems which are not easily solved. So that's where you have to come in. You have to provide them a solution for that problem, and you have to build it too. Application developer sometimes is mostly focused on building pure applications only. So there are that type of guys too. And there goes your AI hybrid path. As I said, this is not a role. It's just a path. There are a lot of roles in this path for you. And that concludes our AI path. The entire roadmap link is put in the description. You can go and check it and download it. So I have constructed this roadmap myself. Of course, I was taking AI help. Of course, I have to research, right? So there you go. I have done that work too, and given you the best roadmap that needed for this, the skills that you need, the workflows that you need, the tools that you need to learn, these applications that you have to check out, and the use cases that you have to work on. Everything is put in this roadmap. Oof, that was a lot. So at least deserve a like and subscription for this, right? Come on. And it's free for you. And you're getting the roadmap for free too. So the next video is going to be the part 3 of these 4 parts that you can take, which is basically the AI consultant agency or trainer basically. So that is something I'm really much interested in, and look out for that video which is going to come up soon. And there's a lot of ideas that I got while making this video and doing the research. Check out my channel for more content, and you're going to get more and more content in the future too. So until then, I'll see you guys next video.